So today we're going to be making these really gorgeous fingerless gloves. They're made with the star stitch, which gives a really beautiful effect. They're cozy and warm. We've got a ribbing around the beginning. Got a hole for where the thumb goes. The seam is on the inside, but it really is a pretty stitch. I do like them. I think they're super cute and they're super warm. And if you're crocheting, you can still use your crochet hook, or if you're typing, they're just great pair of little fingerless gloves. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, for this project you will need a double knit yarn in any colour of your choice. Obviously this one I'm using is 100% acrylic. Also you can use whatever type of yarn you like, but for this pattern it's a double knit yarn and I'm using a 5mm hook size. So to start, make your slip knot and let's bring the camera in and chain 5. We're starting with the ribbing. So for row 1 of the ribbing, chain 1 and then single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So not this one, not the one that's on the hook, not this one, but single crochet into there. And then single crochet into each stitch along your foundation chain. And then chain 1 and turn your work. And then we're going to single crochet into the back loop only. So don't crochet into your chain stitch. Start with the next one and push your hook into the back loop. Grab your yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through. Put your hook into the back loop there, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And do this all the way along the row. Then chain 1 and turn your work. and this is your repeat for your ribbing. So you've chained one, and you're going to work into that second stitch from the hook into the back loop again. So each row now for the ribbing is a single crochet into the back loop of each stitch, and when you come to the end of the row, chain one and turn your work, and then put your first stitch into that second chain from the hook into the back loop only. Don't forget this last stitch here. See this little loopy bit on the end? That's your turning chain. If you forget to put one in the stitch just before there, your edges are going to be a bit wonky. So put your hook in there, make your single crochet, chain one and turn your work, and you can already see the ribbing starting to take shape. So continue to crochet the ribbing stitch here for 40 rows, or for, if you measure around your arm where you want your ribbing to sit, and crochet to the length that you will need. But for the pattern, the case for this pattern, it's 40 rows. So here is your ribbing complete, and we're going to work the main body of the glove. So to start, chain one, and what we're going to do is we're going to place some single crochet stitches along the top of these ribbing rows. And what you want to do is you want to end up with an odd number of single crochet stitches in total when you reach the end here. So let me show you. I'm going to put in a single crochet here. Just have to feel your way along the stitches. Find a little stitch to put your single crochet. As you can see, we're creating a base where we can start making the pattern. So continue to do that all the way along to the end, making sure that you've got an odd number of single crochet stitches. And here we are at the end of row one of the single crochet stitches, and for this pattern it is 39 stitches, which is an odd number. But you can, obviously, if your ribbing is shorter or longer, it might be a different number, but as long as it's an odd number, that will be fine. So let's go on to row 2. So chain 1 and turn your work. Now what we're going to do is slip stitch into every single crochet stitch along here. So put your hook in to that second one from the hook, not into your turning chain, but slip stitch into this one, and we're going to slip stitch through both legs of the stitch like that. Put your hook through, grab your yarn, put it through, and then put it straight through that loop on the hook. Hook through, grab your yarn, put it through, and through the loop on the hook. So there we go, finish row 2 with a slip stitch in every stitch all the way till the end. Okay, so we're ready for row 3. So chain 3 and turn your work. Now we're going to create a star stitch. We're going to start the star stitch along this chain 3 here. If I just bring the camera in nice and close so you can see what I'm doing. In that second chain, put your hook in, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then in the next chain push your hook through. It only needs to be through one leg of the stitch, yarn over, pull up another loop, and then working into the very back loop, put your hook in again into the next one, this one's being a bit fiddly, just use your fingers to get the hook through, yarn over, pull up another loop, sorry, I went off camera there, I'll just show you again. So you've gone through 4 already now, and pull up, put your hook through the next back loop, pull up another loop. So you've got 5 loops on your hook. And to make the star stitch, we need 6 loops. So working into that very back loop there, if you can see, you've got the 2 legs here, 1, 2, and then you've got this very back loop of the single crochet from 2 rows below. So always working in the very back loop here. Pull up another loop. So then you've got 6 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. Then yarn over and make just a single crochet just to secure that in place. And as you can see, it's created a lovely neat angle there and the beginnings of your star stitch. Now for the next part of the star stitch, we're going to start right in this very first little stitch here, which is sort of the hole in the middle of the star stitch. So put your hook straight in there, pull up a loop, and then again working in the back of the loop into this, see this stitch here? If you turn it over, you can see the back. Put your hook through there, pull up another loop, and then you'll see there's another stitch here. Hook in there, pull up another loop, and then working into the very back of the next stitch, pull up another loop. That's 3, 4, 5. We want 6, so put your hook into the next one. Oh. Pull up a loop, you've got 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 6 loops and then chain 1. So I'll show you again. I'll try not to go off camera so you can see quite clearly how to do this. So we always start into this little stitch here as your first one. So put your hook in there, pull up a loop, then you put your hook in the back of the next stitch, pull up a loop, put your hook into this one, pull up a loop, and then into the back loop, pull up a loop of the next stitch, and then again into the very back stitch. It can be a little bit fiddly. It's this one you want, not these two here. There's this one, there's this one, and then it's this one you want. Very back loop. And what this does is it gives this part here nice definition. So we've got 6 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 6, and then single crochet. So I'm going to just show you one more time, and then I'll leave you guys to continue to do the first part of the star stitch all the way along. So let's show you one more time. Put your hook in this very first little hole there, pull up a loop, and then this next stitch here, just in the back, put your hook in and hang on. Pull up a loop, and then into this little one here, hook in, pull up a loop, and then that very back stitch there, pull up a loop, and again in the very back stitch, which is sometimes tricky to see, pull up a loop. You've got 6 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 6, and then single crochet just to finish that part of the star stitch. So carry on along, starting the next one in that hole there, all the way till you get to the end, and I'll meet you as you're getting towards the end to show you how to finish this row. Okay, so we're coming to the end of row 3, and to finish this row, just pop in a half double crochet into that last stitch there. It just tidies up the end of the row. Then for row 4, chain 2 and turn your work. And what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 half double crochets into the little hole that is in the middle of each star stitch. If you turn your work over, you can see it a little bit easier. So there's the first one, there's the next one, there's the next one. So yarn over, put your hook into that hole there, stitch, and make a half double crochet, and then straight away into that same stitch make another half double crochet. And then straight away make a half double crochet into the next one, which is just here. And if you're not sure, just have a little look, turn your work over and have a little look, and you'll see it's that one there. So put in 2 half double crochets in there, and again into the next one, 2 half double crochets, and repeat this all the way along, and I'll meet you as we're getting to the end of this row. And coming up to the end of row 4, I'm just putting the last half double crochets in there, and in this very last stitch we're just going to put 1 half double crochet, and under what I do is pop it into the turning chain. It keeps it nice and straight. So if you turn that over, you'll see that last row finished your star stitches. So what you need to do now is repeat rows 1 to 4, and if you do that another 4 times, because row 5 we're going to make slightly different, because we're going to make a space for the thumb. So you would start by chaining 1 and single crochet into every stitch, starting with that second stitch from the hook. So you single crochet all the way along, and then the next row is the slip stitch, and then you go into doing the 2 rows to create the star stitches. But rewind this video, and if that helps you to just show you how to do the rows 1 to 4 again, and I will meet you at the end of the 5th repeat of row 1 to 4, and I'll show you how to make the space for the thumb. Okay, so when you've done the amount of row repeats that you would like the length of your glove to be, and I've done 6 rows, 6 row repeats, sorry, of row 1 to 4, because I want the glove to be this long. So what we need to do now is create a hole for the thumb. So because there is a right side and a wrong side for this glove, it depends on whether you're doing the right hand glove or the left hand glove. Creating a hole for the thumb will be slightly different on each one. Now, if this is the right hand glove, what you will do is pop it around your hand like this. Now, the seam is going to sew up down the middle of underneath your hand. So you're going to be able to see where you want the thumb. So you can see here is approximately there. Pop in a stitch marker. And what you're going to do is we're going to do the row 1, which is single crochet all the way along to the stitch marker. And this is what I've done. I'll show you. I've already made the right hand glove. And I'll just try it on just to show you. So I put in a stitch marker here, and then when we did the single crochet up to here, we will then chain 8 chains and then continue to single crochet to the end. And that is how you will do the right hand glove. I'm going to be doing the left hand glove on this particular demonstration. So put my left hand in, and I'm going to pull the 2 ends together on the underside so that I can see where the thumb starts, and I'm always going to put the stitch marker in the direction, where we first hit the thumb, in the direction that we crochet, which is in this instance from left to right. So the thumb starts here, so I'm going to put in my stitch marker here. So what we do now is we know where to start making the space for the thumb, and I'll just show you now. What we do is when we're starting the next row is we chain one, and we put a single, we would do as we would normally. Row one is a single crochet in every stitch. So we put in a single crochet, and if this was in the right hand glove, your stitch marker would be over here. You would single crochet all the way up to your stitch marker, which we're going to do here. Just as normal for row one, single crochet in each stitch, and when we're doing the thumb, we've reached the part where the thumb is going to start. So take out your stitch marker there, and what we're going to do is chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to skip 8 stitches. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to single crochet in that 8th stitch there, and there is the space for your thumb. And then continue to make your single crochet all the way till the end of the row. And if it's on the right hand glove that you're making, your stitch marker would have been approximately here. You would single crochet all the way along until you reach your stitch marker, and do exactly the same. You would chain 8 and then continue to single crochet into the 8th stitch and all the way till the end. So then carry on doing your single crochet all the way to the end of this row. So I've got to the end of row 1 of this next full row repeat. Then you chain 1 and turn, and row 2, as you know, is the slip stitch in every stitch. Just like so. And do your slip stitch all the way up till you get to the space where your thumb will be. If it's your right hand glove you're making, this will be sooner rather than over here. but when you get to this bit here of your thumb, I'll meet you there. I'll show you how to do the next bit. Okay, so I've got to the space where the thumb is, doing the slip stitch. Let's pop another slip stitch in there. And it's very simple. You will literally do 8 slip stitches along this chain. So we're continuing with the same pattern of the row of slip stitches. It's just slightly different here. Is you're putting your slip stitch in each chain that you made in the previous row. And then when you get to this back to the body of the glove, continue to slip stitch until the end of the row. There we go. So row 3. So row 3, we chain 3 and then turn the work. And we're going to start again with the star stitches. So as you know, you put in your hook in there, put up a loop, and then your hook in the next one, pull up a loop, and then in the back loops, pull up another loop, pull up 6 loops in total. One more. And then you pull through all 6 loops and single crochet to finish off. So carry on with your star stitch all the way till you get to here, and I'll just guide you over the thumb space. So as you can see, we've reached the chain area here where the thumb space is, but you literally carry on as normal as you would the row 3. Just carry on using the same as the stitches as this is a normal row. So put your hook in there, pull up a loop, then you put your hook in the next one, pull up a loop, and so you can see as usual there's that little stitch there, your hook in there, pull up a loop, and then we're going into the thumb space chain. So just pop your hook as normal, try and find the back the back loop if possible there. Hook in and pull up a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. There's 6 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through all 6 and your single crochet, and again. So you're treating the thumb space exactly the same as if it's a normal row. No different, except now we have a little space for the thumb, which we'll tidy up at the end. There's 6. And it's just going to go straight over the thumb space. So continue now, putting in your row 3 of the 4-row repeat all the way until the end, and then you will chain 2 and put a double crochet, 2 double crochets into the hole of the star stitch, and then I will meet you back at the end of row 4 of your 4-row repeat. So at the end of your row 4 of your row repeat, this is what your glove should look like. And if you just try that on there, like that. And what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to sew the 2 ends together. But first, what I did to finish off the top, so it's nice and neat, on the very last row is chain 1 and just put one last, try again, it's easy to chain 1 from this side, just chain 1 and just put one last row of single crochets into each stitch along the top, just like that, nice and simple. And it just gives a nice little finishing edge to the top of the glove. I'll just show you on the one that I've made. Just gives a nice little finishing edge there. So do your single crochet to the end, finish off, and then what we're going to do is sew these 2 ends together. Right, so to sew the glove together, as you can see, this side with the star stitches showing is the right side up. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew it together with the right side on the inside, and that's probably the tidiest way we can sew it together. And I'm just going to use a slip stitch. It's usually my go-to method for sewing things together. So all we want to do is attach your yarn to the bottom corner of the glove, and I just tie it with a knot, and then slip stitch. If you're not familiar, is you'll put your hook in the corner of the other side and then push it through that first stitch, grab your yarn and put it through, and then into the next, to using a slip stitch to sew together. Then you put it into the next stitch and then put it in the corresponding stitch on the other side and pull through both, and continue all the way up your glove, just like this. And as you're going up, just make sure that you keep this nice and straight. In fact, what usually helps is putting a stitch marker through both sides at the top, and that makes everything nice and even. So continue with your slip stitch all the way to the top of your glove, and then all you really need to do then is sew in all your ends so they're nice and tidy, and with the opening for the hole, I'll just quickly then show you what I've done with this one, is just to finish it off so it's not just a one chain gap. I'll show you how to do that next, but for now continue to use a slip stitch and sew the glove together. So we've joined the glove using a slip stitch, sewn in a few ends. So turn the whole thing back the right way, and there you have your glove. All we need to do now is just put a little bit of a finishing touch on the thumb. So to do that, swizzle the glove round so the thumb is not on the corner, so it's easy accessible there, and attach your yarn and let's bring the camera in. So all I'm going to do, just to match the pattern, is bring up a loop there and slip stitch in each stitch around the spurt a hole where the thumb goes. So put your hook in there, pull up a loop, and sorry, not slip stitch, single crochet in each stitch around the thumb, you'll go around the corner, put a stitch in the corner stitches too, and a stitch in there, and then around the top find your stitches going along the top part of the space for the thumb. Just like that. Slightly trickier on over the top part. So just take your time and find your stitch just to make a single crochet. If you can, try and put it through 2 strands like that. So keep going, putting a single crochet in until you get back to where you started the single crochets. And then when you've got to where you started these single crochets, just pop a slip stitch into that first single crochet like that. Then the very last row is we're going to do a slip stitch in every stitch around the thumb. Simple slip stitch. It matches rows 1 and 2 of the pattern. Just like that. So continue to go around the hole where the thumb will be, putting in a slip stitch. And when you've done your last slip stitch, just finish off. Pull that through, pull that down nice and tight, and then obviously tuck that through to the inside and sew in any leftover ends. Just make sure you pull that end there, sew it in nice and tidy, and basically there's your gloves. And they fit just nice, not too tight. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave a comment in the comment section below if there's anything you would like to see made on this channel, or if you've got any questions at all about this one. I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, take care and have fun with your crochet.